Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to Weekly Byte of MMORPG News, the video series where I go over the latest news, pre-registrations, new releases, test phases, everything that happened in the MMO genre over the course of the last week in one easy to digest format. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting a little bell notification, that way you're made up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post every week. Do not miss out. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. Let's start this off with Soulframe. As of TennoCon 2024, Soulframe is aiming to open up for broad testing at some point this fall. That is big news. They go on to state that new systems and mini adventures are being added to the overworld. If you're interested in playing, Digital Extremes is inviting more and more people into the preludes from the signups. However, if you do not get in sooner, we hope to get into more public hands this fall. He also went on to elaborate that this means opening the game up to everyone for testing at some point soon. While Cataclysm Classic is rolling out the Rise of the Zandalari update, this is going live on July 30th. This is a month before the War Within launches, which I am very strongly prepping for. I cannot wait for the War Within after how much I enjoyed Dragonflight. Gamigo have announced that they are closing yet another EU server for Rift. This one in specific is supposedly one related to PvP. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume very soon there are gonna be no servers left, and they're just gonna go ahead and shut down the entire game. Raf Koster, which I'm sure many of you know, announced recently that Stars Reach, his new upcoming MMO, is actually an MMO that he's aiming to allow for people to play in sessions as short as 5 minutes. Now, this is a game that is launching later this year, and according to him, you're going to be able to play it for just multiple minutes at a time. It's going to require very little investment. It's going to allow for the most casual experiences in the MMO genre, which I think is an interesting take, and it might end up working very well. Throne and Liberty is right now holding their open beta test. If you're interested in participating, go ahead and just apply, download the game. I personally did not enjoy it. I don't know a single content creator really that did enjoy this game long term. Concurrent player numbers are in a state of decline, even given that right now, as of recording, this is a Saturday. This does not bode well for the game, but at the same time, you know what? That is perfectly fine. Not every MMO is going to be for every player. Aetherian Chronicles is a brand new casual side-scrolling MMORPG that is supposedly kind of like MapleStory, kind of like Dungeon Fighter Online. This is releasing at some point in 2025. You can wishlist if you're interested right now. Corepunk finished their Alpha 3 recently. As of last week, they have confirmed that they are going to be launching into early access on November 26, 2024, which is fantastic news. Pre-orders for the game were opened on July 12th. It seems as though there are Founders Packs. If you purchase or if you pre-order right now, you get Alpha Playtest 4 access, Early Access, a full release of the game. Future expansions, however, are not included in the pre-order package, which is interesting to note. They are preparing for future expansions, then you also have to purchase them. That's perfectly fine, I understand. Craig Morrison, who is a former Blizzard and Funcom developer, has announced that he is working with NetEase on a brand new cozy true crime MMORPG. That's it. Spellfarers is yet another brand new upcoming MMO that is launching into early access very soon. Apparently, this is kind of like a simulation MMO. You can farm, fish, craft, and cast spells with your friends. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and wishlist this if you want. It's going to become available very soon. Before we discuss anything else, I want to take a moment to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal. And I can't thank you all enough for the support, and let's keep talking. Neverness to Everness is a brand new game from the developers of Tower of Fantasy. Yeah, that could be horrible or fantastic. It depends on whether or not Hada learned from their mistakes with Tower of Fantasy and implement the correct changes necessary for the game to actually do well. Eternal Tombs is going to be holding in late August, early September, multiple different test sessions for players to access to play. On August 1st, there is going to be a major update. If you've been waiting, then you don't have to wait much longer. Lord 9 is a brand new MMO that just released in Korea. It is being published by Smilegate. Smilegate, of course, is the developer and publisher of Lost Ark in Korea. And honestly, this is a bad game. I posted a video on it. If you want to go ahead and look at what is essentially Lost Ark 2, then here you go. Go ahead and do so. Reforgix, who I've never heard of before, apparently acquired the publishing rights for Ares. They are re-releasing Ares. There is a beta test phase going on right now. Began on January 11th or July 11th, runs through July 25th. And then the game officially launches or relaunches on August 3rd. I honestly would not trust this. I feel like this is just a cash grab, as these relaunched versions of MMOs always are. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is finally launching into early access in December, although they are letting go some of their staff right before launching, which doesn't bode well for the success of the game. But at the same time, they had to do this, otherwise they wouldn't be able to afford to continue to develop it. So I totally understand. I genuinely feel bad for the devs here, but at the same time, like, I don't know, they really had to get this out at some point. So good or bad, I mean, it's finally going to be out there. New World has delayed their console closed beta. It is now going to take place from July 25th through July 31st. Honestly, did we expect anything different? Mabinogi is releasing their Chapter 8 G26 Winds of Fate Part 1. It released on July 11th, and their Part 2 is coming, I think, at some point in August. This is a major patch for the game. Honestly, I'm surprised that Mabinogi still gets actively updated, and I mean, I guess I understand why. It's one of the few anime MMOs that are still even relevant to some extent. It's been a couple days since I first recorded the video, but I figured since I was just about to post it, I would add a few more things to it. On the one hand, Grand Fantasia Origin was announced to be releasing in the third quarter of 2024, according to their Steam page. This is a classic version of Grand Fantasia, but while also being a classic version, it has a brand new engine, it has new gameplay, it has a new adventure, it has entirely new classes, all the while being the classic MMORPG, a classic MMORPG, which kind of like, that doesn't even make sense, having a classic version of a game being entirely different to what the classic version of the game was, but still labeling it as a classic version of the game. But you know what? It's whatever. Here is a new version of the old version of Grand Fantasia that was shut down and is now coming back as a different original version. It just, you know, if you want to play Grand Fantasia, go ahead and play it. Additionally, Fiesta Online somehow is still receiving updates. They're pushing out their Reflection of Memories update very soon, or actually they pushed it out a week ago. And finally, it looks like there might be some trouble with ArcheAge 2, as Kakao has been reported to potentially be selling Kakao Games along with other subsidiaries. Kakao Games, of course, is the studio that was funding and going to publish ArcheAge 2. So without the funding and the publishing studio Kakao Games, ArcheAge 2 might never successfully release. Or if it does, if Kakao Games instead sold to another studio, another corporation, then maybe they'll continue. But at this juncture, it's all up in the air. It is kind of concerning. Now, that is everything that happened in the MMO genre over the course of the last week or two. If none of this is of any interest to you, though, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 or 3 videos on screen right now that might be more up your alley.